Welcome everybody, and here we are in the second part of our app to make a calculator with Python from scratch. We left in the first part that we just could make addition like 3 plus 2, and it was like 7 plus 3 was like 10, but now we can also do the subtraction, division, and multiplication. And there's even this cancel button here to erase everything. So it's all working, it's all nice, and here is the code. But now I wanted to start from scratch again to see what we've done. So let's create a new file and save it as CalcPy second version, or better, third version. And so that we can just start from this one here, you don't have to look back at the other code. So we need to import tkinter SDK. We don't want to use TTK anymore, and we are gonna use a counter here for our buttons to place them in the right place. We want to have another 0 counter. This is the counter for the column, and this is for the row of the let me show you of these widgets here. These widgets here will have in all these rows and the 3 columns, and so we will use these counters to place them in the right position. And then we need a mem1 string here and a mem2 string. This will be the first number that you digit, and then you press a plus or a minus or division, etc. operation, and then you get the second number, and then you use equal. So you will have to memorize the 2 digits every time. That will be summed, subtracted, etc. And then we have a memory operation that will memorize what is the last operation that we have to do. So if it is an addition, a subtraction, and so on. Then we have a let's define how to create our button. So we want to create a function to make it easier to write all to design all our buttons. So we will create a def button very simply with the text that this button will have. To place this button, we will need to use counter and 0. These are for the position of the button, entry, and ESV that we will talk about later on. So B is the button that we will create when we call this function, and will be created with the class button of tk, and will be attached to its parent, where is root, and the text will be text that will be passed here when we call this function. So now we want to adapt the buttons to the side of the window. So we will use column configure, and this works like this way. We are gonna put, that is why we use counter here, to say to the computer that he has to adapt the weight, let's say so, of the column to how great is the window. And so we will use weight, by the way, equal 1 to make it possible to adapt to the window. And then we will add the command for every button that will be the same, and we will use the lambda function, the anonymous function lambda. I forgot lambda written this way, and this will call this function set entry, and it will pass just the text of the button. So the buttons I want, remember, will have each one a number or a sign or CE for cancel, and so it will it will pass these things to this function set entry. Now what we need to do is to make a different color. I want to make a different color for the cancel button. So if btext is equal CE, the button that erase, delete everything, bg, the background of the button will be green. You can make wherever you want, whatever color you want. Then I'm gonna place my button with the grid method. The row will be equal 1 plus 0, because at row 0 I will have the display, and at row 1 I will have the buttons, and from the row 1 on. So I will place them to row 1 plus 0, that the start is 0, and then the column where I place my button is equal counter. So at 0, 0 is the first one, and I want to make it sticky so that it will adapt to the window north, south, west, and east. And I want to also make ipad y equal 10 to make more space into the button from the text to the margin, and ipad x equal 10 too. So now after I create a button, I want the counter to be plus equal 1, so that the next time that I will call create a button, it will be placed on the next column. And then if counter more than 2, so after 3 buttons, because it is button, the first button is 0, the second is 1, and the third is 2. So when it's more than 2, so when you have 3 buttons on the same row, on the same row, I wanna go to the next row, so I'm gonna increment the 0 to a 1, and the counter must return to 0. So it's going to the new line and to the left of the position, to the first column on the left. And then I wanna return the button itself when I call it. So I'm gonna show you right now how I create all my buttons, and I will create them in a main function here. This is the one that starts all, where I am to make a global root. This is the window that I'm going to create, and a global ESV, that is the variable that makes me control what's inside the display, the entry, that is the display of my calculator. So let's define the window with root equal tk.tk with the capital letter. Root.title will be CalcPy 2.0. Let's say this is the second version. ESV will be that variable that I was talking before, that is controlled by this class string var, and then we have the entry, that is the display of the calculator, and it's an entry made with the tkinter module. His parent is root, and text variable, it's equal to ESV. This makes us control what is inside the content of the entry of our display, and I want to justify equal right, because these are numbers, so I want them justified on the right. Then I'm gonna do entry font to make the font bigger, and Arial, and 24. Okay, and then the background will be, I want to make it BG is for background in cyan. Okay, we have made our main window. I want to make this display visible. I will use the method grid. In the row, as I said, I want to place it on top, so row 0, and column equals 0, 2, but I want column span, I want it to occupy all the space occupied by 3 buttons that are below, and I want it to expand as the window expands with sticky equal north, south, west, and east. Okay, and so let me see what we get. Let me transform all in space, and there is an if that I haven't got. Let me do it again. If text line 17 is equal colon 0. Line 36, here is a comma, so it's all fine. Now I just have to start the main, call the main function. Here is our window, and the line 32 I must use tk. Okay, this is our entry, there are no buttons. Now we're gonna create the buttons here, or maybe can also create another function maybe, but I don't think we need it. We just put a comment here, buttons. So for every button 7, let me go here, okay, 7, 8, 9. I want to place the button like in a calculator. 9, then we have 5, no, sorry, 4, 5, and 6. Then we have 1, 2, and 3, and then we have 0, then we have plus and minus, and the multiplicator, the divisor here, don't know how to say it. Then we have the equal sign, and then we have this one to delete. Okay, now for this list, I hope I wrote it good. I want to call my instance to the button. So button with string, transforming string, these numbers here. At the end here, I'm gonna put root.main loop as always with the tkinter. What's wrong? Line 46. They don't like this thing. Perhaps let me join this thing here. Okay, I need to put this sign here. That was the problem. Let me see if there is something else there. Okay, So we have everything seems fine. You see that this is adjustable. So all we need to do now, and if you wanna see this one more like it appears in a visual way, this is our calculator here. Let me see if it's alright. Okay, so let's go and create our function to make everything work. That is the most important thing. This was just the visual part. Now we just need one function, and where we are gonna put it, let me put it here. Def set entry, and I'm gonna pass the value here. The value that I'm gonna pass is just the text. As you see, my command line is here, set entry. Every button has the same, goes all to this function, every button I create, but each one of them will pass a different value that is its. Okay, so if we run this 2 plus 2, something doesn't work, so we need to as we set here, when we press an operator here, we must delete. So 9 plus 3 it's equal 12, minus 2 is equal 10, divided by 2 . Okay, so there was just a typo here. There was a 2 equal sign here. So when we do like 2 divided by 2, we had this error here. We just need to eliminate this, and we have 4 divided by 2, it's equal 2, divided by 2, it's equal 1, plus 3 is 4, etc. So I think for a basic usage of a calculator, it's fully working, and see you next time for maybe adding some features, making a nicer look, some additional features that can be useful, like memorizing operation and so on. Thank you, and see you next time.